Origin Gents, welcome to UX, and this is why the US risks $100 million F-35C, I'm guessing, on a $70,000 Iranian drone. Shahid one. Yeah. This was an AI tally. Alright. Well, how did Bro got all the information? It has been 24 hours since this happened. Yeah, okay, so this is a recent incident where F-35 shot down a Shahid drone. How are you risking F-35? How is Shahid drone going to do any damage to F-35? I don't know. But this is a good question. It's still a risk. Why use that? Don't you have like F-18 and other planes on Lincoln as well, right? I don't know. Or maybe you don't only have F-35Cs there. So F-35Cs, Growlers, other planes are on board. Yeah, I think there is George H.W. Bush has F-18 Super Hornets on it, which is on its way there. But this was Abraham Lincoln. It's going to be interesting. Let's do this one.
Why would the U.S. risk a $100 million stealth jet just to take out a $70,000 drone? In the dead of night, the Navy deployed its most advanced fighter for a mission that looks like total overkill. On Tuesday, the 3rd of February 2026, the USS Abraham Lincoln, a Nimitz-class aircraft carrier, was transiting the Arabian Sea approximately...
there are things like Nimitz is also close by. The Nimitz carrier, the first one. So there is Abraham Lincoln, there's George H.W. Bush, and now also Nimitz is also closing by. 3 carriers, why not?
500 miles off the southern coast of Iran. As seen on this map, an Iranian drone carrier launched a UAV from this position, while the USS Abraham Lincoln was sailing toward the Strait of Hormuz. During this transit, a destroyer within the carrier strike group's defensive network detected an Iranian Shahid 139. It was flying on an aggressive profile directly toward the carrier. Unlike previous incidents where ship-based missiles or close-in weapon systems were used, this interception was unique. It was executed by the carrier's primary air wing, specifically an F-35C Lightning stealth fighter. The engagement began long before the drone was visible to the naked eye. The Lincoln was escorted by Arleigh Burke-class destroyers, which are equipped with the Advanced Aegis Combat System and Spy-1D radar. Simultaneously, an E-2D Advanced Hawkeye was airborne, providing over-the-horizon radar coverage.
Yeah, I was about to say, why not use Aegis system and shoot down? But reloading those things are not going to be that easy compared to reloading F-35Cs. And why would you waste your munition that early? What if Iran attacks? So conserve as much as you can and use, which is easy to replace, which is ammunition on F-35Cs. So it makes sense. If you can use F-35Cs, use them. Why use any other systems, right? Because you might need them later on.
Radar operators detected a small, low observable contact moving at a consistent speed toward the carrier. The trajectory was flagged as aggressive because it did not respond to standard de-escalatory hails and maintained a collision course with the high-value unit. The contact was identified as a Shahid 139, a medium-altitude, long-endurance, unmanned aerial vehicle capable of carrying guided munitions or acting as a suicide drone. The commander of the carrier strike group chose to intercept the threat at a safe distance rather than letting it get within range of the ship's own defenses. An F-35C Lightning II was vectored toward the target. Utilizing its advanced sensor fusion, the F-35C pilot locked onto the drone from miles away. The pilot's helmet-mounted display projected the drone's location, speed, and altitude directly onto their visor, allowing them to track the target through the clouds and darkness. Once visual confirmation was established and the drone failed to turn away, the rules of engagement for self-defense were met. The pilot received authorization to engage and maneuvered into a firing solution.
I agree with the comment. How the fuck does he have this kind of a detailed information? I get it, like up the information, like yeah, a drone was shot down by F-35C. This level of detail, that's something. Is this true or is he just making it up? Like because like I can't judge from the comments. Are people making fun of him? Or they're applauding, I don't know.
The pilot fired an AIM-9X Sidewinder air-to-air missile. The missile tracked...
Wait a minute, F-35C has that gun. Like, what is drone going to do? Can't you just like get behind the drone and like shoot guns? Why waste missile?
The drone's heat signature detonating and destroying the airframe instantly. The pilot performed a battle damage assessment pass, confirming the drone had splashed and was no longer a threat. The carrier continued its transit unharmed. Why did the Navy use a multi-million-dollar F-35C fighter jet to shoot down a relatively cheap drone, rather than using the ship's own guns or missiles? The decision to use an F-35C instead of ship-based defenses comes down to distance and safety. First,
and also flex. Yeah, F-35C fucked you up, man. What you gonna do? That's what's happening. Psychological warfare.
Naval strategy relies on a concept called defense in depth. Engaging threats as far away from the ship as possible is the priority. If a drone is shot down by the ship's guns, it is already within 2 miles, far too close for comfort. Using a jet allows the Navy to intercept the threat 50 to 100 miles away, ensuring that even if the interception fails initially, there is time for a second attempt. Second, a pilot provides visual identification. The radar blip cannot tell you if a drone is carrying a camera or a warhead. A pilot can fly up to the drone, look at it, and provide better intelligence than a sensor alone. Finally, the presence of a fighter jet is a powerful tool for de-escalation. The pilot can signal a warning.
That's up to scale? What are you talking about? It can't be that small. The drone is that small?
And if the drone ignores it, the intent is clearly hostile, justifying the use of force. But what if the F-35C missed their targets coming towards them? Well, the carrier have these close support weapon systems. It can carry 2 50 caliber machines.
Well, if F-35C miss a drone, then I guess give up at that point, because that shit is embarrassing. A drone is not that fast. You can lock onto drone. That would be a level of blunder that's too much.
Machine guns at the front. Moving a bit further are 2 phalanx weapon systems on both sides.
CVs.
Additionally, an anti-aircraft Sea Sparrow missile has been added just close to the phalanx. At the back, you will find Sea Sparrow missiles on both sides and a close support system like the Phalanx or the C-RAM. Inside this close-in support system is the Q-band search radar. Just below it is the Q-band tracking and gun-laying radar, and beneath that is the 20mm Gatling gun, which spits out 4,500 rounds per minute. All these rounds are fed from the ammunition drum. When a missile speedboat tries to get within a
4,500. Damn, that's a lot. That's like a second. Yeah, that's a lot of it.
Range of about 2 miles, the close-in support system activates and spits rounds, dismantling an enemy boat in seconds.
Imagine that, about 80 or so rounds every second. Imagine second. There you go, 80 rounds just shot. That is an insane amount of speed. 80 by 60, yeah.
Due to the concept of fast-flying drone warfare like this one, the Sea Sparrow can destroy it with utmost precision. It has a range of around 50 kilometers, which is 30 miles. But why is the U.S. positioning its aircraft carrier in the Strait of Hormuz? Well, according to the U.S., Iran has poured deeper concrete. A single bomb might not be enough. They need the aircraft carrier to maintain a no-fly zone in this part of the Middle East. This opens the door for the B-2 Spirit to slip through defenses and drop them.
I don't get what you mean. Why? Why not? What else are you gonna do? Aircraft carrier is literally American land near Iran. How are you gonna fight Iran if you're all the other side of the planet? You need America to go to Iran. Aircraft carrier is America, basically. It's a small town in itself, a small city. It's just there. Now you can do warfare from there. It's an armada. Multiple ships and aircraft carrier in the center. There you go. Aegis system, all the shit you can bring. What else are you gonna do? That is how you do war.
Massive bunker buster bomb. So the U.S. Air Force executes a tactic known as double tapping.
Yeah.
The first bomber drops a GBU-57. It's a massive ordnance penetrator. It slams into the mountain, blowing open the newly reinforced blast doors. Seconds later, a second bomber drops its NOP directly into the crater created by the first. The second bomb travels vastly deeper into the mountain before detonating. The resulting shockwave doesn't just damage the facility.
I think this time they're going to do a lot of it, because last attack didn't destroy all the things that America thought they destroyed. Later on, they realized, like, enough information came out, like they probably recovered a lot of it. This time, they're not going to stop at few bombs.
It collapses the mountain from the inside out. The final phase marks the biggest shift from 2025. We aren't just hitting nuclear sites anymore. We're targeting the regime's survival. From the depths of the Persian Gulf, the U.S. Georgia launches a salvo of Tomahawk cruise missiles. Their targets are not factories, but people and command centers. IRGC barracks and intelligence HQs are struck to sever the chain of command, fueling the crackdown on protesters. Finally, to prevent a retaliatory strike on Israel or Saudi Arabia, the U.S. targets the missile cities. The vast underground depots in the Zagreb...
I think Saudi Arabia already said, like, we're not helping America this time. We're not going to let our space be used for warfare. Okay, how are you going to stop America? I don't even know. I'm pretty sure Saudi Arabia did a deal with Pakistan as a joint military deal. Saudi Arabia needs Pakistan's help for military. What you going to do against America? You can't really say no. America's going to say, no, I don't accept your no. What you going to do then? So that's just weird, but I guess it's just symbolic. So Iran doesn't attack them, I guess.
Mountains. The goal is to trap the regime's ballistic arsenal underground, burying their sword before they can swing it. The second strike is designed to be the final word. By combining cyber warfare, space dominance, and the heaviest conventional ordnance on Earth, the U.S. creates a scenario of total overmatch. But here's the question.
Imagine that B-2, swarm of B-2s coming. It's still insane to me, man. As a Iranian regime just looking up, there's like black figures, like kite-looking things in the distance coming towards you. People used to call B-2 bombs alien ships back in the day when they didn't know what they're looking at. I'm pretty sure recently some YouTuber also caught a glimpse of something that looks like, I think it was a B-21, the way it looks. But they're like, oh, what is that?
B-2 Spirits already hit these targets during Operation Midnight Hammer. So why do we need a second strike?
Last year.
The reason is simple. Intelligence shows they moved critical nuclear material out of the bunkers before and after the first strike occurred.
Yeah.
So let's go back and recap exactly what happened during Operation Midnight Hammer. The U.S. deployed 6 B-2 Spirit...
Wait a minute, how they know? Did you have an intelligence leak? How they know before to move it out?
Bombers, each armed with GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrators, deep penetrating bunker buster bombs designed for hardened targets like Fordo. These strikes targeted the mountain ridge directly above the tunnel network and underground enrichment halls, aiming to penetrate the fortified layers and disrupt Iran's nuclear operations. The B-2s also targeted at least 6 of the known tunnel entrances leading into the facility. Post-strike satellite imagery, along with assessments from weapons experts, confirmed that at least 3 of the 4 main entrances sustained significant damage. Large craters were visible near these access points, indicating a direct hit and probable disruption to the facility's internal infrastructure. Roughly an hour before the B-2s crossed into Iranian airspace, a U.S. Navy submarine launched over 30 cruise missiles, targeting the Isfahan.
Also, if you use that bunker buster, which is nuclear bunker buster, how would anyone know? Like, I get it, you can't use nukes, but if you use bunker buster, is that strong enough to cause an earthquake that you can actually detect that was a fucking nuke bomb? I'm pretty sure like the mountain would not be there anymore. Even the smallest nuke is too big of a deal. If you use a bunker buster nuke weapon that you have, I think that would just delete the mountain. I think people would know.
Nuclear site. A simultaneous attack from sea and air created chaos and stretched Iranian defenses thin, adding another layer of confusion to an already overwhelming assault. At around 6:40 p.m. Eastern Time, 2:10 a.m. in Iran, the lead B-2 bomber released 2 massive ordnance penetrators over the Fordo nuclear facility. Over the next 25 minutes, 14 MOP bombs were dropped across Fordo and Natanz, tearing into the reinforced underground complexes. Almost simultaneously, the cruise missiles struck Isfahan with devastating precision. With their mission complete, the B-2s turned back and exited Iranian airspace just as silently as they had arrived. Despite extensive damage to the targeted sites, Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan, Iran secretly relocated its 400-kilogram stockpile of 60% enriched uranium to an undisclosed location before the U.S. airstrikes on its nuclear facilities. Unusual truck activity at Fordo. In the days leading up to the strikes, satellite imagery revealed a convoy of 16 cargo trucks lined up along the main road leading to the tunnel entrance of the Fordo fuel enrichment plant. This was highly unusual, as such large-scale vehicle activity had not been observed before, suggesting preparations to transport sensitive materials. The following day, most of the trucks had disappeared from the site, while a few were spotted about a kilometer away from the tunnel entrance. The scale and timing of this movement strongly indicated the removal of critical assets, most likely the enriched uranium. Tunnel sealing operations. Additional satellite images showed trucks and bulldozers positioned near the main tunnel entrances. Some vehicles appeared to be involved in sealing off the tunnels, likely in an effort to prevent inspection or further attacks. These actions suggest a coordinated effort to secure or hide.
Yeah, so they're still trying to enrich uranium and make nukes. I don't get that really in modern times. Say you make a nuke, you demonstrate you have a nuke, you do a test. Oh, look at that, we have a nuke now. All right, America's still gonna attack you. What you gonna do? Attack with nukes? America will shoot it down and then nuke Iran. If anything, you're fucking yourself up. Look at India-Pakistan thing. Both countries have nukes. None of them cared. India bombed the shit out of Pakistan and Pakistan tried to do the same thing but couldn't. But they were both launching missiles at each other, even though both had nukes. Nobody, like, the nuclear threat doesn't work as much as people think. And now America being America, the defenses they have, what missile of Iran is going to reach America at all? And even if it does, America will just shoot it down. At that point, what is your nuke going to do? If anything, this gives an excuse for America to nuke you.
What had been stored inside. According to the International Atomic Energy Agency and U.S. intelligence, the underground enrichment halls and tunnel entrances sustained very significant damage. Some tunnels will reportedly collapse or backfilled in anticipation of an airstrike. Above-ground infrastructure, including power systems and facilities linked to uranium conversion and metal production, was heavily damaged or destroyed. Leaked reports from the U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency based on initial battle damage assessments by U.S. Central Command confirm the credibility of these findings. However, the assessments also note that the strikes did not eliminate the core components of Iran's nuclear program. Most centrifuges and enriched uranium stockpiles survived intact. As a result, the DI estimates that while Iran's nuclear ambitions have been delayed, they have only been set back by a few months, not dismantled. But let's take a look at the possible scenarios where they have hidden these nuclear centrifuges. Evidence and expert analysis suggest Iran may have moved nuclear material from Fordo to several possible locations. One likely option is the underground tunnel network at sites like the Esfahan nuclear complex, which reportedly remain intact after recent airstrikes. Natanz, with its history of underground construction, could also house some of the material. Major nuclear facilities like Isfahan and Natanz have the capacity to store such material, even after partial damage. Iran may also have relocated it to secret or undeclared sites, including military bases like Parchin or unknown underground bunkers. Dispersing the material across hidden locations would reduce the risk of total loss. We also made a deep dive into the sea, air, and land components.
Yeah. All right. So why risk 100 billion F-35? Because this is a bigger deal than people realize. Iran, this might be like a fucking movie in the making in the future. Based on the real events, Iran might be literally accelerating to make any kind of nukes they can right now because they might think their back is against the wall from their own people and America as well. Right now, deal is about to be reached. They might be just like, playing along with America while they do their fuckery. We don't know what's happening. This might be history in the making, right? That's how serious this is. It could be, that's the thing. Or it could not be, there's that real element as well. But it could be a real thing where they could do something with this. Because uranium was secured. And if America attacks this time, they'll go full on. I think that's why 3 aircraft carriers are massing there. Alright, well, if you like my reaction, don't forget to subscribe and I'll see you next time.